have some quiet? Oh, thank you. I turn them all down. Turn them all the way down until somebody screams, "My necklace!" I was hoping we can take a little bit to just share any thoughts, comments that folks had from what they heard in their discussions that they want to share. I believe I already have one volunteer by the name of Will here has already been volunteered by his table. And if you want to just share some of the things that you feel like are kind of notable things that you came out of your discussion.
Sure. So I will. Lived here in Manchester for the last 6 years. Love living here. And our table, we're looking at local connections and activities. So a lot of focus on the pedestrian landscape, recreational trails, connections, etc. So lots of emphasis on slowing traffic, expanding sidewalk networks and trail networks like walking trails, biking trails. And one of the things we were talking about is balancing things for the residents versus things for the tourists and the visitors to our town. A lot of focus on making the rec park like a year-round destination. Gets a lot of action in the summer, less so in the winter. So there was talk about sort of reviving the proposal that was on the table a few years ago to make a bigger rec center that could be a team hangout, feature rock climbing, potentially even start just like covering the pool with the bubble so the pool itself is a year-round feature, but ideally having more year-round recreation and meeting spaces for all ages, youth to seniors at the rec center. And then we had a lot of fun ideas talking about some of the prominent vacant locations like in the Price Chopper Plaza, bringing some brew and view opportunities into town, axe throwing, music venue. Also some concerns about DUIs. So reviving, I guess there used to be a shuttle that was an option for people, both residents and guests that would go between hotels and give people the option to not have to rely on their cars if they're going out and enjoying some of the local restaurants and beverages.
So if we're encouraging nightlife, we should encourage it responsibly.
I say that as a man who makes whiskey for a living.
Oh. Okay. Anybody else want to share some thoughts that came out of your table? Yes.
I just more than just share the thoughts. A lot of thoughts that you guys had at your table. We were the wild people, and so we had some wild ideas. But I think the thing that I'm taking away is to say what an incredible opportunity this strategic planning process is for all of us, because so much of what happens in town politics, it seems to me, is all about what we can't do or why we don't want to do this or this person disagrees with that person. But this strategic planning process seems to be organized in a way where we can think positively about the things that we really want, and therefore the sky's the limit, because who knows what we can actually do. But I just think that was the tenor of our conversation, and we went to town with it. So
monthly meetings, monthly engagement meetings for the town. Like that's run differently than the.
We wanted to have a celebration of after town meeting, like a community-wide potluck.
Okay.
Great idea.
Oh, we have a lot more than that. All right, you guys, tell some of your ideas.
Well, one of the ideas, we talked about this kind of goes with a lot of the tables, which is this idea of having a third place, like a gathering place that could check off a lot of boxes. It could be in the central area. Maybe there's a prime spot, the car dealership space.
We talked about converting Langway's building.
Yeah. And it could be a food hall and a cinema and bowling alleys and food truck space or outdoor space. And we talked about making it a community-owned structure in the way that like the Green Bay Packers are owned by the community. We
Right.
could all put in money, and then we would all have a say, and then we could pool our resources and make it something that this community really wants.
I first sat down at this table, they were talking about an amphitheater over by Riley Rink.
Yeah.
That for larger concerts and festivals. That way it would save the festivals that are happening there from having to set up stages.
And by classical music to come play there too. Yes, and then just.
Yes.
I'd like to say that I think that what is good for the community is also good for the tourism industry. I don't see them as two separate entities.
Okay, that's good. I hadn't heard that yet. That's good perspective. Anything from your table, Emily? I'm going to throw some people under the bus here. Two people I can't throw under the bus. Yes, sir, in the black sweatshirt.
Sure. Yeah, so we, most of our table left. I think we offended them or something. I'm just kidding. No, we were talking a lot about the community character and those softer metrics that are harder to define. And I think we didn't agree on everything in the conversation, but I think we agreed that one, Manchester has a unique character, which draws a lot of us, including myself, to live in this town. But that we shouldn't use that as a barrier to change or progress, and that there is a way, and I think we actually do a pretty decent job currently in not like restricting people and trying new things or building differently shaped or looking structures around town that maybe don't fit exactly cookie cutter with the rest of what's happening here, and that's maybe okay. And I think that doing those things can encourage more development, more businesses from coming in and trying new things and expanding sort of what the current identity of our town is.
Thank you. Any other tables? Yes.
Well, I want to mention the dream of a train station, having a passenger train come to Manchester and bring tourists in, let us go wherever, Burlington, and fall foliage trips, that sort of thing, a train.
Okay.
I just want to add to that, one of the things we discussed is that would also benefit other communities along the way.
Yes, it would. Okay.
Co-op, a food store co-op.
A co-op?
Co-op food store, like they have in Brattleboro.
Okay.
In a rock climbing, a rock climbing cafe.
Yeah.
Combining.
More bus routes, more publicized bus routes.
Okay. For the rock climbing cafe, they'll need to have lids,
Yes.
but yeah.
I'm going to speak for the folks who have left.
Oh.
I started at this table, that ended.
Oh, you were the problem.
Yeah, it's all my fault. Once I stepped to the next table, they had to go home. So things that were working well, we did go through. We have some images here of different buildings. So thumbs up was given to where we are today. The library, Lola, and another space was mentioned that it's off of Highland Avenue. It's an 8-unit apartment building that looks like a converted barn, if anyone knows that. That got thumbs up. The brewery, negative. Sorry. But so the discussion then turned to rather.
You're talking just aesthetics, right?
Aesthetically, yes.
Right, yeah.
Not as a business. We were talking about the historic districts versus aesthetics, and the discussion seemed to come back to it's not so much about expanding the historic districts or keeping an exact structure that might be there, but having aesthetics that are compatible, certain materials, features mentioned like gable ends and dormers that make people think New England, and a little more flexibility on signage. And there were thumbs up given for like mixed use with housing above, incorporating outdoor green space so that there's some passive uses sprinkled in to bring some street life. Streetscapes that incorporate small seating areas, benches, pocket parks. sensing where possible, and warmer color tones. And I think that's mostly it. They, similarities though. There was a little concern that historic districts themselves, if they were to be expanded, bring a lot of restrictions with them and a little too much detail.
Okay. Can I just add on the brewery, because I know it's controversial. Our table, I think, was pretty split. Half of our table really would agree with what you heard at the other table, that it doesn't fit. I think myself and a few others don't exactly agree with that. I think maybe size-wise it's a little big for the space that it's in. But it also harkens back to this like marble industry. It's supposed to kind of mirror or look like a Marble Depot kind of feel, which is why it's called the Lost Marble Brewing Company. And it's also like, it's not in the middle of town. It's like right on the edge of town by a supermarket and a giant hotel. And I think if we were going to try anything new like that in this town, that's probably a pretty decent place to try it. So I just wanted to add that context that there's some differing.
Okay, thank you. Yes, sir.
So the wild card topic table number 10, we have a whole list of things, so can we present them to you? We don't need, everybody doesn't need to read.
No, I mean, we're hoping to gather up some of your table notes and everything. I was just hoping for an opportunity for folks to share, a couple of things that stood out to them.
So can we email this to you?
Yeah, I was gonna type up these notes because you wouldn't be able to.
If you want to type them up, I would love it.
Okay.
No one would complain. I'm not going to
I'm happy
complain
to.
because tallying all this up, but I can certainly, I would condone that. Any other? Yes, sir.
One of the thoughts I have is if, as we look at the town, at the town, in terms of what's in, other areas, et cetera, and you look at the demographics of the town, 65% of the town is pretty much 60 and older, and there's only very few in this if you reimagine the town as effectively a 55 museum, which basically prevents and
Before we kind of wrap up, some just overview. Thank you all for joining us. Next steps, the video from this, if it didn't get totally messed up, because apparently my laptop battery died because it wasn't plugged in. But the video and slides and displays from this are going to be posted up on the website probably tomorrow. After that, notes will be generated. I'm going to wait for your email. And in the coming weeks, we'll have the notes. And we're hoping to see you at our next meeting, April 9th, at Maple Street School. And thank you, everybody, for coming.
So,
Yes, right.
you answered one of my questions, which was the next steps. So I guess you're going to compile all the input that you heard from the
Yes, we're
tables
going to
tonight.
be a very good turnout today. It's going to be a lot of notes and everything to go through. I'm going to have to coordinate with my teammates on everything they heard so we can collect all the notes, try and organize them as best as we can, and document that. We'll have the notes up on the project webpage probably maybe in the next week or two, we're hoping, so the public can see what we collected and they have a chance to react to what other people thought.
It's a Tiny Earl webpage
Yes,
that's
the
on
webpage,
the town website.
yes, the tinyurl.com/townplan2026.
I've been lucky enough to realize it was Tiny Earl, not Tin Earl.
Yeah, yes.
I guess any reactions or takeaways from what you heard tonight from the people? Anything that surprised you or anything stand out?
I was glad to see it was a good turnout. I wasn't surprised. I thought there would probably be a good turnout. Dealing with this many people in a discussion format is always a challenge, trying to organize people and give them guidance on how to do things. So it's, I think things went well. I need to talk to my teammates and see how their conversations went.
Today and tomorrow.
I think their conversations may have gone better on their topics. The zoning topics were, I think, more difficult ones to go over in a group setting. So, but we'll see. I think hopefully we got some good information.
And I just want to make sure your company is Regrowth.
Regrowth planning.
Planning.
Yes, it's bigger than,
Are you
almost
indeed
bigger
based in
than a
Dorset?
sign should be.
Yes, I
My
live
last
in.
story, I had you as a Dorset-based consulting firm because that's where your website seemed to be. And
Yes,
and I went, I hope that's right.
Yeah, yes, that's right.
Okay.
And then Emily and Jackson are with Saratoga Associates, and they're out of Saratoga, New York.
Yeah, no, I just looked at Jackson. What is his last name? Do you know?
This is Sarso.
Oh boy.
I want to double check on the spelling.
Relatives who fought wars, so